Please remember that information and advice provided on this podcast is based off my personal experiences as a young girl with ADHD. Although I do analyze, mention, and cite valid peer-reviewed sources, my podcast is not a replacement for professional medical advice. If you have concerns or questions regarding your own amazing brain and mental health, please talk to a medical provider. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which I speak to my listeners today, the peoples of the Kulin Nation. I also pay my respects to their elders, past and present. I'd also like to acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded. This episode of the Lucy Pod features heavy adult themes. It is an in-depth discussion about the negative impacts of a late ADHD diagnosis. Things such as anxiety, depression, suicide, and drug use will be discussed at length in this episode. If you're not in the mood to listen to this, please listen to another episode of the Lucy Pod. If you are struggling with anything that is discussed in this episode, please look at the description below where there are resources to help you, such as Lifeline, Beyond Blue, and the ADHD Foundation. Haiti and Afghanistan are still in trouble, and the situation is tragic. Please do not forget to donate or share the donation links that are in my description. Also, please do not forget to follow the Lucy Pod wherever you are listening. If you are listening on Spotify, please do not forget to click the follow button. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, do not forget to give me a 5-star review. And of course, follow me if you're listening on Amazon Music or Google Podcasts. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at The Lucy Pod. Hello and welcome back to the Lucy Pod, part 2 of my amazing conversation with my friend Jasmine about ADHD and late diagnosis. Let's get back into it. But I was going to say, I want to say I have a very good ADHD radar, and when I met Jasmine, I was like, this girl is ADHD. I thought it in my head. And I was new.
Woman.
Because can you imagine if I'd gone up, she'd be like, Jasmine, you're ADHD. You might have taken it really well, or you might have been like, get stuffed. Like, who are you to tell me what I am? Like, how dare you?
I mean, in retrospect, if you'd said that, obviously with me now telling you that I'd suspected it, I'd just be like, noted.
Duly noted. So I always knew it. And anyone else who was around me who was like, Jasmine, she's like a bit off with the fairies. I'm like, yeah.
I'm
surprised you. And I would never say anything, obviously. And I'd be like, yeah, you guys have no idea. So I was going to ask, do you think that your ADHD was missed because it wasn't obvious? Which I don't know how that would be seen. Or do you think it was mistaken for something else? Like with teachers and with parents, did people just think nah, that's just Jasmine? Or people were like, nah, she's just lazy. Why do you think it was missed for so long?
This is really interesting, and I'm actually so glad you brought it up because I love talking about this.
Tell.
Seriously, the commentary from my parents in regards to me as a kid and just, I suppose, expressing symptoms and what they made of it was it was said about me by my 2-year-old kindergarten teacher initially. She she marches to the beat of her own drum.
Oh, yes, I've gotten that as well. Oh, yes, she's very spirited.
Nothing's changed.
Yep.
And, literally in every single report I've had pretty much all the way through to year 12, it was always Jasmine is easily distracted, is off in her own little world.
Yep.
And, as you said, she tends to give up on tasks if they prove too much of a challenge, et cetera, et cetera. It's the same old story pretty much.
Yeah.
But it was very frequently dismissed with, that the word that my parents incessantly use is quirky and left of center, a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I honestly don't blame them for not going and getting me tested because the reason for that being is because I feel it's not as bad now, today as in this year, but, for a long, long time, ADHD has been very misrepresented in the sense that I suppose the average person just off the street, I guess, I don't know,
would think
just the
it's with
average
a boy.
person.
Like, people think ADHD is a boy thing, and
Yeah,
like
yeah, exactly.
they're
That's what.
those, disruptive, annoying guys. Like, people
Yes.
compare ADHD boys to like Jonah from Tonga. Like, they say that's
Yeah.
ADHD in boys, which I don't know how I feel about that. But it's like, yeah, boys have ADHD, and then girls who display ADHD traits are ditzy and odd. It's
Yes.
odd. You're
Yes.
very
Yes.
odd. Yeah. Or
Oh
bossy.
man,
Like, I
that's
got
a good one.
bossy. I got that I was a very bossy child, that I was very inquisitive. And like, yeah, like ADHD was never on the thing for teachers. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
it's a real damn shame, because like that's the thing, like that's, you took the words right out of my mouth just then. Because ADHD, like the stereotype exists as the traits that are displayed in boys.
Yep.
They're very talkative, loud, bouncing off the walls,
Mm-hmm.
won't settle down.
Rough.
Just
Yep.
and that tends to be a person's typical, I suppose, framework of how ADHD looks in a person.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm a little bit of both, but like I've always kind of been more of the inattentive type.
Yep. Same.
That was the most noticeable element of my ADHD personally,
Yeah.
because I would focus on anything except the task that I was supposed to be doing through primary school
Yep.
and middle to high school to now.
Yeah. No. Same.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's like I feel like my the element of hyperactivity in my case is mentally. Like
Yeah. Same. Mhm.
my frontal lobe, I love saying this, feels like it's powered by a V8 engine. It just
Yes.
doesn't
The accelerator. That's right.
stop.
That's the analogy they use. It's like your brain isn't broken. It's just a Ferrari with a really, really fast engine that doesn't know when
No
to stop.
brakes.
Or like, I tell
Okay.
people, my brain is like when you've got 10 tabs open on a computer.
Mhm.
And it's just running at the same time, and you need to press Control Alt Delete, otherwise I'm gonna, explode. Like, it's like having a million things going on. It's not necessarily
Mhm.
like, oh, super loud. Like, I think I am just a naturally loud and talkative person. I don't think that's my ADHD. It's what's going on in my brain that's like, I'm having a conversation with someone, but oh my God, their hair looks really nice, and I wonder what shampoo they use, and oh my God, I forgot to wash my hair. And I
Yes.
can hear someone
That's how my
talking.
mind works.
And their voice sounds like that actor. Did you know? And then like I'll interrupt and say something like, "Did you watch that new movie?" And they're telling me about like their dead dog. So it's
Yeah,
like,
literally, and you come out with something that's could not be
irrelevant.
less related to the conversation.
It's so
Every
irrelevant. Like,
time.
so it's not even like, I think as a kid I was maybe more active, but I think kids are active. Like, I think, we
Yeah,
move
of
around. But
course.
I think the reason why my parents only suspected I was ADHD until later on is because I was a really good sleeper. Like, I slept
Were?
really well, and I still am. I'm still a really good
Must
sleeper.
be nice.
I'm just a naturally good sleeper. So that's a key trait of ADHD, is that, sleeping is an issue. And the thing is, at home, I
Mhm.
wasn't annoying. It was at school that I was an issue. My parents didn't find me problematic. At home, I was the only child. I had all their attention. It was easy. It was at school that it became an issue, where it was like, she's not just spirited. There's some other difficulties that are happening. And it's my mum who picked up on them. And my
Yeah,
dad was in
well, see,
denial. Because dad's ADHD, and obviously that
oh,
then
was
translated
he?
to me. Yeah, dad's ADHD. Like, I think he talked about it in my episode with me.
You know what? Yeah, like he might have. I might have heard this before, and it's just gone in the mental recycling bin
Yeah.
for some reason. But yeah, no,
Yeah, no.
we love Mr.
We love him. We love him. Like,
ADHD
and it's
icon.
such a common thing. Like, a lot of teachers say, when you tell the parents, when you've got a kid in your class who's ADHD or autistic, you'll, go, okay, how could the parents not tell? And then you think maybe the parents are in denial, and then they meet the parents and like, oh, yep, dad's autistic. Yep, dad's ADHD. Yep. Can definitely
Yes,
can see that. But I think at school, I don't think teachers are like trained that well to like notice ADHD in
no,
girls. I
they're
think,
not.
and maybe like I had a different experience at my high school. I had a great time. Teachers were great with me. But I think if in a different school, the view of girls being sort of outspoken and like me, I don't know if it would have gone down well. Like, girls are not allowed to be,
Mhm.
girls aren't allowed to be autistic. They're not allowed to be ADHD. They need to just be really pleasant. And I think that
Yes,
maybe
that's
informs, yeah,
unfortunately a very still relevant norm that shouldn't be the case.
Should
But,
not.
that's the thing, like when you throw neurodivergency into the mix, it makes it, it makes it a lot more prevalent.
Yeah.
And, when it's more prevalent, it's like, you know, more people sort of start to notice, and not many people really understand.
They
So,
don't. And I think their only
yeah,
understanding of it, like,
100%.
I think people are more accepting of neurotypical and neurodiverse boys. Like, if a boy's autistic, it's seen as like, oh, he's like odd and like nerdy and cute and it's sweet. And girls are more likely to be okay with that. Like, girls want to mother those boys. Whereas if it's like a woman who's ADHD, it's like, oh, she's weird. She's psycho. Like, she's really off the planet. And no one wants anything to do with that. Like, it's not cute. It's,
That
oh,
is,
she's
that
psycho.
is,
Like, she's
that
off
is,
the planet. Like, boys with autism, we love it. And then when it's girls, it's like, oh, she's really intense. Like, yuck.
that's exactly what you get when you mix just the general stereotype of
Women.
associated with female behavior, like
Yeah.
to the extremes, and neurodivergency. That's the thing. Like, people, it's so commonly thrown around the word psycho. Like,
Yeah. Like,
when
maybe
I
she
said,
is.
oh, my ex is it's like, oh no, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. We'll blur it out. It's fine. You're fine. I think I've sworn to. We will blur it out. No, it's true. We use it so loose. It's like, maybe she is psycho. Maybe she does need therapy. Maybe if you want an asshole and you got her help, maybe. Like, yeah, maybe she's not well. Maybe she's off the planet because you've gaslit her. You know? Like,
Exactly. People seek to judge rather than they seek to
Help.
than they seek to help. Exactly. Like, yes, you can stand there and criticize all you want, but that's like, can you see that changing anything? Is that
gonna help?
this person?
They
No, it's
think
not.
punitive works. Like, my primary school teachers were like suckers for punishment. They loved punishing me. And the thing is, it did nothing. And it's not because I was disobedient. It's because if you tell someone with ADHD to sit in a corner and not move, what do you think they're going to do? Like, how dense are you? And
Sure.
oh God, I almost want to bump into all of those old teachers and just say to them, like, you all were so far off the mark. Like, go get trained again, because if you're teaching future students who are ADHD, I don't want them to be told what you told me. Like,
God,
that I was, you know?
It's damaging, because especially like with primary school kids, like children are so malleable at those ages.
Yeah.
If they've got an undiagnosed mental illness, or even diagnosed,
Yeah.
either or, and they're treated the same as a neurotypical child, or just generally not having their condition taken into consideration, that can be so harmful going forward.
It can be very harmful going forward. Like, they don't
Absolutely.
realize. And another question I was going to ask you is, obviously now that you're diagnosed, you probably know more how much your ADHD impacts you. How does your ADHD impact you on a daily basis now that you've got this clarity? When do you notice, oh my God, I'm so ADHD? Or is it just a constant, like, I'm ADHD?
Yeah, it's constant, honestly. Like, it was so, like, I cannot compare the experience of realizing, like, that all the 9 symptoms of ADHD are pretty much just a list of my own personality traits.
Your whole star sign.
Yeah, it's just, I just identify so strongly with, I'd say actually 8 out of 9 of the primary symptoms.
Yeah.
It's like I notice it on a daily basis, like usually before I was diagnosed, I mean, I wouldn't give it too much thought, but
Right.
just having all this self-awareness,
Yeah.
it's I already said eye-opening, but just the fact that it affects literally every aspect of a person's life, it's hard not to, I suppose, notice it or anything. But
Yeah.
yeah.
It's everywhere. Like, that's why I did a previous episode about like ADHD and identity, and how, Cairo, she asked me a really interesting question. It was, if, going off of what you were like before being diagnosed and now, how much of your ADHD can you base on your personality? And like, is it conducive to say, I am ADHD instead of, I have ADHD? Now, I did a whole episode about it, and I don't think people realize that the reason I say I am ADHD is because it's everywhere for me. That doesn't mean that I'm just ADHD. Like, of course, I'm Lucy before I'm ADHD. I like reading, I like singing before I'm ADHD, but it's like, I am ADHD because it's like everything I do.
It's
the
functional.
ADHD is
It
there.
literally targets just the way you function as a human person. Like,
It's everywhere.
everywhere, from sleeping to eating, be that, you eat the same thing for like a week. Like that's common
Or
with
you
ADHD.
forget to eat
I've done
and
that.
literally
You
you
know,
forget to eat and people are like, what's wrong? It's like, I'm not dangerous. I'm on Ritalin right now and I forgot to eat. I'm so sorry. Like,
yeah.
it
Story
does.
of my life.
It's literally with you all the time. And I don't like, and I also don't know why people care so much if people choose to say I am ADHD. And obviously, Cairo wasn't asking this question to be a dick, but other people ask, like, oh, how much can you base on your personality? And it's like, why are you asking that? Like, what is the intent behind that question? Does it bother
Exactly.
you
Like
that
it
I
connotes almost trying to separate the mental, like the mental
disorder?
impairment from the person.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, how much of you is like a bit sideways, and how much is like an actual person? Like that's kind of how it can come
Come
across.
across it, it's like, why are
And
you so bothered? And even like there are some people who I have in my ADHD group who, I love them and I support their choice, but they choose to be, to identify as someone who has ADHD or someone who was diagnosed with, like, there's this sense of separatism, and that's of course their choice. Like if they want to identify like that, they, you go for it. But I don't understand why they would want to separate it. Like, there's nothing wrong. Like, you would never say, I am someone who experiences happiness. You'd say, I'm happy. You don't
yeah,
say, I'm a
exactly.
person who
That's
experiences
such a good
sadness.
analogy.
You say, I'm sad today. Like,
Feeling that.
but it's true. So I don't know why there's this separatism and like, oh, if you weren't diagnosed, you wouldn't think like that. Yeah, but before you were diagnosed, you always thought you were weird. Like,
What?
you know?
How does the diagnosis like change the way in which a person
Feels.
thinks? It doesn't that don't make sense.
That doesn't make sense. And another question I was going to ask you about, the fact of being diagnosed late. Do you think that being diagnosed late means that you're going to have medication forever and like coping issues forever? Like, how do you think it's going to affect you in the long run? Like, do you see yourself being like, I need to be medicated for my whole life? Or no, I want to like learn to live off of it? Or do you feel like because I was diagnosed late, I need all of this extra help?
Absolutely. Honestly, I feel like the way I see it, I mean, I see no shame in taking medication long term,
Me neither.
be that for like
My whole life.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, for a person's entire life, because they need it. Because I see it as I was born like due to genetics at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
I don't
I was
have the
born
same
different.
ability to
Yeah.
to operate in certain situations or do certain tasks to the average person.
Yeah.
So, there's absolutely no shame in taking a medication that's going to counter that. Like, to whatever extent that may be,
Yeah.
but it's something that I believe I need. Like, just the difference between me not being on my medication and me on the medication is
Incredible.
unbelievable. Yeah,
How
seriously,
did it
it's
feel? So I want to hear, like, what was it like your first day taking your, like, first Ritalin? Because I did a whole episode about it and I wrote a story and it, like, changed my life. What was it like for you taking your first ever medication? What did it do? What light
everyone
bulbs?
remembers their first time.
Everyone remembers.
No, but like it was just, I remember this so clearly, like it was yesterday. But like the first time, it was short acting Ritalin.
Yep.
Um, I took it, and this was just before I went to uni,
Yep.
and I just remember like the absolute second that it hit me, it was just like I'd honestly kind of forgotten after a few minutes that I'd taken it,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it's just this absolute
Clarity.
clarity and
Jinx. Jinx. Yeah.
just this
Yeah.
newfound, I suppose,
It is.
composure. And it what I found, like the best way I can describe it is that it just cleared all the white noise in my
Yep.
head.
Yep.
Like
It's like
I
coming
didn't.
up from underwater. Like you've been underwater and you can
Yes,
hear everyone at the pool and it's all muffled.
yes,
And
exactly right.
you come up and it's like, oh my God, like this is what it's meant to be like. Like this
Yes,
is
that is so spot on. I'm totally stealing that analogy.
no, steal it, steal it, steal it.
No,
People will
that's
know
so
it was me
true though.
first. So you noticed a difference straight away. Like you felt it. It wasn't like,
Absolutely,
yeah, no, that
absolutely.
I bet. Did it change? Has it changed your personality in certain ways? Because a lot of people like to say, no, I don't want to take medication. People shouldn't take it because it makes you into a zombie, da 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 da, which we know isn't true. It's like 70 to 90% effective. But do you think in some ways it has changed your personality, but not necessarily in a way that's like made you this medicated robot person?
No, absolutely not. Being a robot person, I feel would be the last thing I would say
Yeah,
about the
I
effects that
doubt it.
Ritalin has on me. Like,
Yeah,
I still feel very much like the same person,
yeah.
just more, I suppose, articulated, more focused, and just generally, I suppose, more organized. Like, I don't feel like that takes away from my character or my
Mhm.
interests or just the essence of who I am as a person, you know? Like, I've experimented with drugs that absolutely have changed me as a person, you know,
Yeah.
and this in comparison is absolutely not it.
Yeah, people don't realize like Ritalin and Concerta and ADHD medication, they are not a hallucinogenic, psychedelic,
No,
mind.
they're not acid or mushrooms or
No, they're not
pure.
mind altering. Like they are.
No,
Yeah, they're
they're
not
not mind altering at all.
antipsychotics. They don't
They're mind enhancing.
enhancing. So, do you think that some of the drugs that you have taken have completely altered your personality and like the way you
Absolutely.
function?
Yes, I mean, I never stop talking about this,
No.
like, to some people, but, like, just the most recent episode, I suppose, with, benzodiazepines, you know,
Yeah.
the heavy sedatives.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the side effects that they would have when I wasn't asleep, they just turned me into this aggressive,
Monster.
spiteful, yeah, a
Yeah.
monster, basically. I was just an awful person. I would get set off by the smallest, most insignificant things.
Yeah.
I genuinely, like, if I had come across that character that I was, like, in my everyday life as I am now, I would absolutely despise that person.
You'd run. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd
You.
run a mile in the other direction.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's yeah.
yeah, like some drugs, prescription or like illicit, you know, they some do have the potential, I suppose, to change your demeanor
Yes, definitely.
to varying degrees, but ADHD medication,
It
I
doesn't.
don't believe is a part of that.
Doesn't. It just doesn't. Like
No.
it's not even like that's why it's people who aren't doctors who don't get it. You know, it's random people who read one article and go, it changes your personality. It's like, do you even know what a stimulant is? Do you
Yeah,
know
it's
what it is? Do you know what compounds it has? Do you know its atomic mass? Do you know what it does to my brain? Have you studied this for years? No, you've got no idea. You've got
no,
no clue.
it's usually like the kind of person who I suppose would like to generalize just, I suppose, all drugs and medications as just something that people ultimately will inevitably get addicted to. Rather, it will just completely change who they are. It will cause them to ruin their own lives and relationships. Like, that is absolutely not the
Not
case.
at all.
You
It's
know,
just
like,
not.
I mean, those are the kinds of people who don't fully know, I suppose, um
Anything.
the topic that they're speaking about. Like, I mean, absolutely, some have the potential to do that,
Of
but
course. Everything has
it's
that. Like
yeah, it's ignorant and inaccurate to brand that towards,
medication.
other substances or other medications that aren't of the same nature.
I agree entirely, and I find it frustrating when people go, you know, you're not going to be able to take your meds forever, and it's like, first of all, why do you care? Second of all, why not? If
Yeah,
I
why
choose
not?
to be
Like,
on my meds,
is there a shortage?
like the only time I'll probably go off my meds is when I have to have a child because I know that with certain drugs may interact with like pregnancy and stuff, like it
Yeah,
may cause
yeah,
heart
that's
problems, but like putting that aside, why do I need to not take it? Like you would never say that to someone who is diabetic or epileptic, and you'd never say, you know, you're gonna have to wean yourself off the insulin. You're gonna have to wean yourself off the. You
yes.
would never say that because it is a life-saving drug. Well, you know what? My medication is also in a way my life-saving drug. Because if I didn't have it,
Exactly.
I would find my life to be very difficult. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
die, but you know, it's not gonna be very pleasant, like if I'm not medicated.
That's exactly right. And I don't understand why people have such an issue with that.
And why
Like,
they
I
care and
mean,
why it's their
personally,
business.
I've never sort of had somebody, I suppose, ridicule me for taking my medication.
They better
Like, I mean,
not.
I guess that remains to be seen because I'm
Oh,
still recently diagnosed. But even if someone did, like, hypothetically or truthfully, like, why is it their problem?
yeah.
Like, it's not even any of the what sorry, it's not even their business to know, like, if you're taking medication or not.
Medication. And like
So
also, don't you drink red wine every night, Sally? Yeah, you drink red wine every night to cope with the fact that your kids are driving you crazy. So if I want to take my medication every day, you can drink your red wine. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if someone
yes,
wants to drink
yes.
every night for the rest of their lives, go for it. You want to do that? That's great. You want to, I don't know, smoke? go for it. Let me have my meds. Let us
Exactly.
have our medication. We're not hurting anyone. We're not dangerous. Like, people think that it like makes you aggressive, and it's like, we're not taking ice. We're
No,
taking Ritalin and
no.
Concerta.
Seriously, some people will maybe carry that I suppose that idea because I don't know. Sometimes with neurotypical people take Ritalin, it makes them just bounce off the walls because
Psychotic.
it's, as we said, it's effectively speed. So
It's
I mean, yeah,
speed.
it can have that effect on a normal person.
Oh,
But I mean, just with the comparison to the glass of wine every night or
yeah.
smoking or medication, it's like this is something that we actually need
Need.
to function and be able to
And
participate
that we've been
effectively,
prescribed.
yeah, in our lives. Like it's not even a recreational thing.
Nah.
It's vital,
It's
this is a
treatment.
functional thing.
It's a treatment. Like, you don't need your glass of
Yeah,
wine. Your doctor did not say to you, you know what, Sally, the kids are driving you mad. Give yourself a glass of wine. My doctor has said to me, if you want to continue, thriving, you need to consider medication. Like,
absolutely.
that's an option that I was given, and that's one that's working for me and that I need. You don't need a glass
Exactly.
of wine. You can have it, but you don't need it. So don't worry about what I'm doing with my meds, and don't suggest
That's the thing.
exercise. Like, has she tried going for a walk? Like, okay.
Like that's exactly also why it makes it so unwarranted because it's like
You've got no
if
idea.
you feel like you need a glass of wine, not just
Yeah.
I could have a glass of white with my meal tonight. It's like
Yeah.
I mean that's a little bit different from somebody taking medication
Nation.
that A is prescribed by a doctor and B like something they take so that they can function. It's vital,
It's vital. It's treatment. Like, just like someone with depression is allowed to have their antidepressants, I'm allowed to have my stimulants. Like, I'm sorry.
exactly.
If people are allowed to not feel sad and take their meds, then that's awesome. But I need to be able to feel like I can focus. And that's the only way
Exactly.
my meds permit me. And people think that getting medication's easy. It's absolutely not.
No, it's not.
They can't just prescribe it to you like that. Every
No.
time I go to
Oh,
my psych to get my meds,
it's a process.
she has
It
to
is a
ring the
process.
poison bureau and, give out a number. You can't just like, oh yeah, here's Ritalin.
No.
That's not how it
Oh my god.
works. People
Man,
don't realize that.
I could talk for so long about this because like honestly, I don't feel that it's a bad thing. Like I mean, yes, it has its flaws in the sense that, some people get like fall through the cracks
Yeah.
and it's a runaround process, just in general and not everything's covered by the government health
Or
and
then
NDIS
NDIS.
is pretty
That's
inaccessible
appalling.
as I've heard.
Yeah.
But we could have the alternate scenario like we have in the States. And, it's like you could be all of 18 years old, walk into a doctor's office, say, I can't sleep, and they'll give you like a 2 month prescription for Xanax.
I
And,
know.
and then not to mention the opioid crisis, it's like
Yeah.
that's what happened. Like that's the
Oh,
consequence, I suppose, of a lack of restrictions on addictive medications.
yeah,
But that
definitely.
doesn't necessarily excuse inaccessibility to people who actually need
Who
it.
need it. But that's so funny. Like, a lot of people in America, like, ADHD and, it's over medicated, overdiagnosed. It's like, you know why? Because y'all make it so easy to get medication. That's
Yeah,
why.
exactly.
You make it so easy, yet so hard. Like, you'll give people
America.
you'll give people bloody Xanax and, that pain medication like Oxy,
Oxycontin. Yeah. Oh my
and
god.
in the same breath, you
What a
go, I
disaster.
think ADHD is way too overdiagnosed. It's over medicated. I think it's an epidemic. No, that's not an epidemic. Your drugs are an epidemic.
Accent is killing me.
It's such a bad accent. I know who I'm emulating. I don't know who it is, but she's from the South. And she's got a really strong accent. But it's so true. And I think another issue with like here, the fact that medication is so expensive. Like, my medication is so expensive.
Oh yeah, Ritalin long acting is like $50 for like a month's prescription, I
Month's
think.
prescription. It's so
Yeah,
expensive. Like,
it's crazy. And my sleep medication that I just bought yesterday was like $56 for a month's supply as well. So
my God, that's so
yeah,
people don't. That's so much money. Like, I've only just hit the safety net balance where now the medication will cost less for me. So thank God, and I'm very lucky that my parents pay for my medication. But I know that if I like
same.
was not living at home and I just had my two jobs, I wouldn't be able to afford my meds.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I'd imagine that would be the case for a lot of people out there who are, living by themselves, who I don't know, didn't have as favorable circumstances, like if their parents weren't in the picture, or you know, any like
lower
case, I suppose,
economic,
you know, like not everyone has that luxury of having a parent or guardian pay for their expensive meds, you know, like
exactly. I'm so
it's
lucky. Like, I think
yeah,
medication should be means tested. Like, I think with ADHD meds, it needs to be means tested. You know, if you
100%,
are in a
100%.
lower socioeconomic background, it just needs to be cheaper. Like, birth control is means tested. Why is an ADHD medication means tested?
Exactly. I
Like,
mean, like I'm sure like certain people would need birth control
control
for like, I suppose,
medical
more
things.
crucial reasons, I
Yeah,
guess, not just
of
contraception. But
course.
like that's the thing. Like, I mean, you know, look, I think a good example of this is over in the States. You know, insulin costs like over 300 like over 300% of what it costs to produce, and it's astronomically high compared to,
It's
you know,
disgusting.
to Canada, Australia,
Yeah.
Italy, Japan. Like I
France.
actually
Yep.
I saw an infographic. That's what I'm trying to describe. But
Yeah.
you know, overcharging medication in the means of financial profit is quite frankly disgusting.
It's disgusting and unethical.
Yeah, which I feel very strongly about.
Same.
And you know,
Yep.
it's like with food. Like this stuff is as necessary to a physically or mentally ill person as toilet paper, food, you know, feminine hygiene products, all of
And
that.
it's not
So
a choice as well. Like, people think that because, you know, let's say you need insulin, like, well, that's up to you to, you know, deal with. Like, you've got this illness. And it's like, but I didn't choose it. Like, me
exactly.
getting sick is not a choice, and me having cancer and having to pay an arm and a leg to get treated is not my choice. And that's why people break bad and do a Walter White, because
Yes.
I'm done. You know, like, maybe we need a breaking ADHD. A disenfranchised ADHD person needs to, I don't know, like, do something and start a revolution. But it's insane. Like, if you can make birth
Don't get any ideas. I love Breaking Bad.
yeah, I love it too. Like, why isn't medication cheaper? Like, and like, I think in France they've just made birth control for free, and we need to follow suit.
Good on France. And didn't they oh, wasn't it, they didn't get scrap a tampon tax. It was like didn't they make all contraception free? Like
Yeah,
that
it's all
included.
free. It's like for free.
Good on them.
Why isn't
Good
it free
on
here?
France.
Like, why is that not for free here? Why should people have to pay to, you know, regulate their symptom, you know, their cycle, and to be protected? Like, why should it be expensive?
Exactly.
Like, that's not right.
It's not in any means a privilege. It is a right.
It is a right and a
And
necessity for some people.
yeah. And
Like,
for the and just I don't understand why it's not more widely agreed that, like, you know, healthcare and medication is an absolute number one priority. It should absolutely not be used as a means of
abuse.
a profit, you know? Like it's that's just cruel.
It's essential. It's public health. People don't realize it's public health. And that's why, like, you know, when I talk about my ADHD and about medication and stuff, I make a point, like, this isn't me just like taking meds for shits and gigs and stuff. This is a matter of my own health. It is a matter of public social health, and it should not be this hard to be neurodiverse. It just shouldn't. It just shouldn't be that
Absolutely
difficult.
right.
And I'm sure there's people who have, you know, physical disabilities who would have even more to say about this, you know, who are saying the fact that I'm in a wheelchair should not make my life so difficult. Like, things should be easier.
Like, yeah,
you
like
know?
I mean, even just things like that, like, you know, a lot of places not being wheelchair accessible, like that's you know, that's highly discriminatory, and the fact that it doesn't have more attention directed towards it is very concerning, I would say.
I agree.
And you know, it's not to say that, like, you know, now as opposed to maybe 30, 40 odd years ago, like when ADHD wasn't even heard of. I mean, it was still a thing, but it wasn't recognized.
Yeah.
It wasn't
researched enough. Yep.
yeah, exactly. I mean, we've come a long way in terms of, you know, making the world as accessible, like,
As
not
it
as
can be.
possible, but just making it more friendly for the people who aren't as advantaged as neurotypical. Sorry,
No. I agree, and I think there's this
there's a
argument
long
of, like,
to go. That being said,
no, there's this. I agree. It's like the argument I'll use, and I'll say I am not wrong. I'm not ADHD. It's just the world isn't made for me. Like, being short, let's say, like, short people, there's nothing wrong with them actually being short. It's just that everything is made for tall people. So, like, my ADHD maybe wouldn't be so exacerbated if it was in an environment that was easy, but then that invites in the argument that ADHD is only environmentally caused. But like, there is something to be said though, that like, you know, the fact that at school you have to sit in a chair for 6 hours, listen to a teacher just talk at you, it's not really conducive for ADHD brains, thus it exacerbates symptoms.
Absolutely
You know?
not. That is quite literally like the polar opposite of how it should be accommodated. Like, that is the single worst setting that you could put an ADHD person in.
It's
Like,
so
making them
bad. It's like putting someone with autism in like, I don't know, a concert and they have like sensory issues. It's just
yeah,
cruel.
it's
Just cruel. Like, it's just not made for them. And I think life should be made easier for people who are neurodiverse, because it's not a choice. Like, we don't do this for fun. I don't do it for attention. As much as I love being ADHD, it's not something that I like sort out and that I want, you know, to have to deal with. So just make it easier. Like, just make it easier to get diagnosed. Make it
like
bloody
it's
easier.
almost like, you know, the world we live in kind of tells us to just quote unquote deal with it ourselves, you know? Like, I mean, what was I going to say? I was going to say something. I'm trying to say that. No, it's gone.
It's gone. It's gone.
And it's gone.
We're almost at an
Sorry.
hour, so I wanted to ask you, is there anything that you would like my listeners and people to know about you and your story? Anything that you want people to take away from this conversation?
Honestly, what I would say to anybody listening, so firstly, I would say if you even slightly suspect, like if you identify with any of the 9 symptoms of ADHD and you feel like it's a possibility that this could be you, absolutely 110% go and get tested. I understand that not everyone has access to
This.
the costs and, you know, the time involved in the diagnosis, but you know,
Try.
which is really unfortunate. That being said,
Yeah.
but you know, there is support available for people with ADHD online, like Kids Helpline,
ADHD Foundation. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are things like that. But yeah, no, diagnosis, medication, and CBT are priceless to people like us.
They're priceless and important. And, you know, next time someone says to you, you need therapy, you should be like, I actually am in therapy and I'm working on myself. You should try it. You should try it. You should just give it a go.
Wholesome. I like it.
I like it. I think that is a really positive and good note to end on. So obviously Jasmine and I are going to talk after this, but we're going to say goodbye for now on the recording. Thank you for joining on the Lucy Pod, Jasmine. It's been a great conversation.
My pleasure.
It's going to be so exciting. It's a long episode. I think it's going to have to be like 2-parter, which is like fun.
Yeah. It certainly seems that way. The time's just flown.
God bless Trent. Trent's my editor, so he's going to have to edit this. So he's going to have fun listening to us ramble.
He's going to have fun with that.
Well, he can have fun with it. He can enjoy it. So goodbye, everyone. See you next time. Lots of love. The Lucy Pod. All right, I'm going to press stop recording now.